What's up, y'all? What's going on? Welcome, family. Welcome, visitors. Thank you for tuning in for Think Out Loud Thursdays with Angelica. I hope everyone is well. If nobody has told you today, I just want to tell you I love you, that Jesus loves you, and me, right? So these are just some different things I'm going to talk about that comes to mind. Thinking out loud, talking about some different stuff. So one we already know, and a lot of the different things is things that we see and things that we hear. Nothing new that I'm talking about, and nothing that I'm going to talk about in this brief video is anything new. So we all know from everybody doing videos, it being so outspoken. We all know, as far as in the Black community, we know that it is a difference in how we treat each other, different advantages we have, blah blah blah. Whether you are Black, African American, mixed with Black with other races. Okay, we know all these things right now. So what's the main thing of this part is, what are we going to do? Because we hear a lot of conversations about so many different things that are happening, and why more not fitting for February, right? It's Black History Month. So we see all these different things still occurring, even things being put into law, still against the Black community. So if you're identifying that you have Black in you, or you're, regardless if you're Black or not, it should make you feel uncomfortable or some type of way, right? So what are you going to do? We're at a time and a place right now where if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. We know, I mentioned before, that many are feeding into the narrative. And when I say that, I mean as far as just as well as far as how the world is portraying or wanting us to respond, as far as the racism, as far as the what is it, the beef between the Black and the Black men and the Black women, the things that we're seeing with the youth, this young generation, the heightened robbing and stealing and killing, and all these different things that are going on. And it makes you even think about too, you still got to look at the parents. That's the part that kind of baffles me. And it's like it doesn't make sense when people will go on front of the screen crying and hooping and hollering, but then what your children are doing, these young ones, because now you got teenagers, young folk, robbing and stealing and killing and doing all kind of stuff, or even just too grown. So then it makes me think about, like, you have some parents that are more striving to be their children's best friend than being a parent, when these kids need parents and proper parenting. Regardless if you're a single parent, we know all that too. We know all of that, as far as the narrative and the reality. We know that it's single parent homes. We know that we have obstacles that are put out in front of us. Those things are not going to change. Some things we cannot change on our own. It has to be as a unit. So when people complain and fuss about certain things, you complaining about things that we dealing with our jobs, or things that we're seeing in the crime, or this, that, and the third. But what are you doing to help change it? So really, then you're just a mere voice just talking, right? One of the biggest things we have to realize too is the hurt that we have. Maybe it was from our parents, from relationships, from choices we made. We can't change those things. We don't decide who we want our parents to be. Those people that have been molested, raped, anything, whatever it is, we can't change those things. But where are you going to go from here? What are you going to do? People are narrating this race hates this race, and this people hate that. Well, what are you going to do? Many are just sitting back waiting for something to happen, or just something to magically change. Have you ever thought about that you're a part of the change? Many times people say, don't complain if you don't vote. Whether, I don't even do that anyways, but don't complain if you don't vote. But don't complain if you're not trying to be a part of the change. And I'm talking about as far as in your communities, in your own home. I see a lot of women, or even parents, period. It's like you're trying to live through your children. People are dying. My Black people, our kids are dying. Family members are dying. You have a generation of just an ignorant, even mindset of thinking with this generation coming up now, sitting back, having idols in the mainstream that they are following or looking at as role models. It's cool to be a woman that just wants a bag and travel all around the world. I heard a little young black girl say that, and I'm just like, just the ignorance that's even coming out of some of our people mouth, that you want no more than just materialistic things. And it's real right now. It's a lot of stuff that's going on. We are at a time where you're gonna have to, it's like deciding your fate, what you're gonna do. Because we play a part in the things that our kids are experiencing. We play a part in some of the foolishness. And nothing is ever gonna change unless we begin to help the change. And first and foremost, that starts with ourselves. You wonder why we can't get up as a people. You think about, we got all these different things that are happening and we're trying to figure out this doesn't make sense when right now, even as I speak, you have wicked people that are, for as a whole, dictating our fate, dictating and having background conversations and table talks of who's going to be in control or what to do next to get us back in alignment with what they need. But because of the shaking and awakening, this is why I say we don't, many of these things that we know that are happening, whether it be with the race, excuse me, the race and different things, even within our own culture, our families, the different dysfunctions, the hurt, the pain, you can't change it. It hurts. Somebody that hurts you, it hurts. But don't allow that to keep you stuck. Don't allow that to get you to a place to even think that you are not significant as an individual, your children. Because we got to think about, it's not just about us, these adults. You have children and grandchildren that these things are being impacted by. Where you got trying to take us backwards. But you got to think about, we're in a whole new millennium. We are in the time, and I'm not even going to say, I normally would say in the season, but we are in the times that is vital in how you respond and how you move. We know people have church hurts. We know people have we know all these things. So what are you going to do? You have many people that are standing up and that are beginning to do things in their community. And there's an awakening even in the Black communities. It's necessary. So then I even lose respect for I'm be honest, many people or some people, like, especially in the limelight. Because what are you really doing besides playing your role very well? So what Satan would do is he may not can kill you himself. He may not what he does is he uses you to help to not only destroy yourself, but destroy other people. That's in our families. That's in this world. It's levels to it. The spiritual warfare is so high right now. So many are being attacked mentally, spiritually, emotionally. There is no time to keep playing games. So that's for those that are believers, because we don't fight like the world fights. But recognizing that whether you want to accept it or not, or fight or not, things are still going to take place and happen. Things are still happening and unfolding. It's a shame when you got to think about, when you got to look around and, just all the things that are happening. It's like, wow, we back here. But you got a generation that's so caught up into the fantasy of the entertainment and social media, don't even realize it's a war going on. Literally, spiritually and naturally. that things are much more greater than what you think it really is. It's real. And like I said, people been being used. While we sit here fighting against each other and talking about each other and I'm the best and this, look, these folk, this for all of us, especially black folk. But this is for everybody. Where everybody's fate. You think it's by coincidence? All this stuff is happening quickly, accelerating. No, it's not by coincidence. It's a lot that's unfolding. So I don't know. Maybe some people think that they won't be touched or something. I don't know. But if you look around and just look, our black people are dying, white people are dying, Asian people are dying, Hispanic people are dying. Look, Indian, Mexican, look, all different races are losing their lives. Children overdosing on drugs, killing and shooting and going to the schools and different things. It's very real right now. This is a sensitive time. So I want to also say this too, though. Even though those may have hurt you or different things, because the Lord had led me to Ezekiel earlier, you are still accountable for your own personal development, for your own mental health and well-being. Even though, like I said, parents may have hurt you, boyfriend, cousin, baby daddy, husband, children, whoever, the system, whoever. Every person is accountable for their own part, their own selves. Don't allow that to hinder you from your own growth, from your own deliverance, from your own healing. Because the sad part about it is a lot of people are staying stuck there, blaming their mom and blaming their dad and blaming this. And yes, all of that stuff is very real. But as I said, you can't change that. But you can change you to help your children, to help those that are around you, to help the next generation. And maybe even help bring about change in your family. But it's not going to change anything if you don't begin to change. Understanding that some people are not going to say sorry. They're not going to apologize. This is why it's important to guard your heart in these times. Many many are the afflictions of the righteous, but God will deliver you from them all. You have a lot of people that are battling demons, battling sin, that need help, that need encouragement. That's why I said, if nobody told you today that they love you, I love you. You're worth being here. It's so much going on, and people don't think about the hurt and damage that gets caused to many people, but they don't. But it's an awakening that is taking place, and you don't want to miss it and not be prepared because you're so consumed with what's happening in the world. It's important to have conversations with your children. It's important it's like role reversal. It's like it seems like the adults are the children and the children are the adults in some cases. It's like the you have more parents that are veering towards the 30 is a new 20 and 50 is a new 40 type stuff. And then your children are out here hurting. You have a generation that's out here hurting. But at the end of the day, like I said, you're accountable for your own personal development, even though it may hurt. That's not an excuse to not grow and mature. Because as I said, each person and each individual are going to be accountable for their part. So God gives us, he's been giving us opportunity to prepare. He's been giving us opportunity to repent. Because you have evil and wickedness on all levels. Many times people feel like they're not even doing anything wrong. Even from like the stuff like I see with this generation with the children. It's a lot. The young girls are too grown. The young boys, I'm like, you still sagging? Like some of the stuff is like we still doing this, not even realizing that you're being used to help with your own demise. It's like a war when they have you fight each other. So that takes less people in the army for them to have to fight the next army, right? The enemy, because you're already killing yourselves, whether it be literally, emotionally, damaged, stuck. You know, you have people that are committing suicide, losing their mind, going through all this different stuff, and people still are living in a fantasy, only thinking about materialistic things and what you want, and not even thinking about this is the time for us to really come together. You got history striving to repeat itself, laws being made against even the Black community, and this shows too, as far as the truth coming out, and people's true colors, and even how people really feel about themselves, even in the Black community or even other races. Thank you to those that are starting to say stuff. You have more people sometimes saying more than we are. It's important, my people, to pay attention. That's why I said, do you really want more? Because it's I don't want to say amazing, but when I say the devil's so crafty, and this strategic system has folks so thrown and entangled, not even realizing you just being used as a mere puppet. Because if you don't think, you think about it, a lot of people that they use, what they end up strung out on drugs, they end up killing them. Your kids is dying. Just ironically, all this stuff happens in the people in the mainstream entertainment industry, right? Let alone everyday people. So then is it worth it? So then even when I say you got people, like I said, love who you want to love, but some folk is getting played. Let's just be real. Some of y'all do got that get out wife where you'll have people, whether it be male or female, using you and manipulating you so you can't get any further, or so to keep you from being with your own people. Folk being brainwashed and don't even realize it. You do have some that are really with other races because they really care and they really love them, but then you do have some that are actually using people that are getting played. And how many people are getting played like chess? Because you think because you're just going to work, or you think because you're going to school, everything's okay. This is deeper than what y'all can even probably realize. And many believers and those that are able to discern can recognize that this is like, it is no turning back. Like, this is the time to wake up and pay attention. Start working on yourself, your children, healing, repenting, first of all, repenting and working on yourself. Because the enemy is seeking whom he can devour. You got people scrambling and fighting on levels. And they ain't going to give up easy. They ain't going to give up easy. They going to put up a fight. There's levels to this. So it's important to forgive and heal. And that's a big reason why it's so important to start doing things in your community, helping your communities. That's why I say, if people are not really doing anything, especially these people y'all follow, these idols and stuff, man, these folk is leading y'all straight to destruction. So many people, by being so consumed with you, while folk vlogging and got doggone TikToking and all this different stuff, you got these folks sitting back watching and laughing. They still distracted. And you got all kind of stuff, chaos going on. And remembering that everyday people, you not even on the same level as them. When you trying to keep up with the Joneses, they got money to fall on, so-called, for right now. Your children is the ones suffering. You following after idols and after people, but then your children are suffering and dying. Anywho, But you all be encouraged, just pay attention, wake up. It's important to be mindful. Our kids are hurting. A lot of these things they fighting, they even just not even have Black history anymore. And it's like some of this stuff, it don't even bother y'all, but it's so real because it's like this affects everybody. Things that are happening, they affect everybody. If you love and care about people, especially in the body of Christ, even in the church, you should be concerned about cleaning up everywhere. Okay, everything being cleaned up, because there's no more things being swept under the rug. God is on the move, honey. And people got to think about it's all, like I said, all different races, all different cultures that are losing their lives, that are hurting, that are fighting, battling, going through stuff, just trying to keep it afloat while people are sitting around singing and dancing. I told you, and then just like the Titanic or like a tsunami coming or a storm, you were unprepared. So a part of our job as believers, and my job and my assignment is to warn you. Because you can't say that you didn't know. Things are so vivid and clear right now. I don't care whether you're religious or not. You know that something is going on. You can see, even just the resistance towards everything to keep, especially even my people, still keep us held down. Nobody will be able to run or get away. You're not going to be able to hide. Either you're going to stand up and fight, or you're going to lay down. What you going to do? That was some things. Is it worth the money? Is it worth these continuous lives being lost for anybody, baby, like different races, especially my people? That's personal. But if you love and you care about people in general, you should be bothered, because now you got stuff knocking at people's doors, people that are getting touched from different races that didn't think they would ever be. I never thought it would be me. This is what people are saying. I never thought this would happen to my family. I never thought this would happen to my child. It's not by coincidence. God doesn't want anybody to die. He doesn't want anybody to hurt or that they shall perish. But you have the choice to choose life or choose death. All right, so y'all be blessed. Y'all have a wonderful day. This was Think Out Loud Thursday, and this is Angelica with In God's Timing, and I will talk to y'all soon.